Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today, I have something completely different for you. Today I wanted to go over how to change strings on an electric guitar. This is coming in as a special request from a dear friend of mine who apparently never learned to change his guitar strings properly. So this one goes out to you, buddy. Without further ado, today I have something completely different. Wanted to go over how to change strings on your electric guitar. We have a few tricks of the trade here, some of my own little tips and secrets, and just some standards. So obviously we have an electric guitar, my Telecaster. We have a new set of D'Addario 10 gauge strings for the Telecaster. We have a string winder that helps with tuning the tuning pegs, turning the tuning pegs. We have an even fancier string winder. This one has my clippers on it, so that's very helpful when you need to clip off the strings. Naturally, we have a tuner to do our tuning, a graphite pencil for a secret I will tell you later, cleaning rag, and cleaning solutions. So you don't need to have all these things. Really, all you need is a new pair of strings, and that's it. But my guitar has been thoroughly overdue, and we're going to give it a little bit of a cleaning today. Some new strings, tune her up, make sure nothing's sticking. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take off your old set of crusty strings. So I'm going to start with that. And I guess while I'm here, I'll go over some common misconceptions. I know when I was coming up, I thought you couldn't take off all 6 strings at once. That was something I was told, maybe some wives' tale, maybe someone was just trolling me at the time. Who knows? But I remember being told you can't do that. It'd mess up the tension on the neck and take your neck out of straightness. But that is not true. Do you pull the strings all the way through? That's what I used to do. Or do you cut your strings and make it easy on yourself so you don't got to deal with trying to get this through your bridge holes? So we're going to try to be smart guys today and cut this. These aren't the best clippers, so I don't cut more than 1 string at a time, at least with the thick strings. All right, we're clipping, we're snipping, we're having a good time. And then naturally, you take your old strings, try not to get tetanus. Just kidding, there's no rust on these strings, people. But try not to poke yourself with these sharp ends. Pro tip, don't stab yourself. Be very careful. Wrap them up nicely. Set those aside for now. Okay, so let's get the rest of our strings out. Lift it up. My guitar just threads through these little barrel holes here, so just push them right out. I've had strings stick in this process. They kind of get bent and hang up in there, in which case sometimes you just got to kind of tug them around, kind of push them back and forth, try to get it to budge. You know, shouldn't really require too much of a fight. Okay, so we have all our strings off now. This brings us to the cleaning portion of today's tutorial. So I have some cleaning pads here, some products. I have the Dunlop Guitar Maintenance Kit System 65, which has a polishing thing, cleaning thing, you know, everything a clean, happy guitarist would want. But today I'm just going to use, we are going to use the Guitar Polish and Cleaner 65. We won't be using deep conditioner because it's a maple board. I'm not really going to wax mine today, but we will just use this guitar cleaner, okay? Okay, so we have our cleaner here. Any old cleaner will do. I've even just used plain old lemon oil, you know, just to get the grime off, you know, wipe off any excess. You don't want any weird stuff on your guitar. We're going to start off with a little dirty rag. I'm just going to dust everything, kind of get all the loose bittos off. Just quick and easy, all right? Then I'm gonna go to my clean side. I like to fold my rag down to a really small, not so big thing, and spray the cleaner onto the rag itself. So I'm just gonna hit everything real fast. Don't need to be too precious about this step. This is just right now, nothing crazy. Okay, so this brings us to the maybe more fun, satisfying part of the cleaning is getting into the fretboard here. I can see all my little finger gunk. I can zoom in a little bit. You can see some of this little black stuff in the corners. Not fun. Not great. We don't really care for that. So we're gonna get that right out of there. Obviously, I'm cleaning the frets, the wire themselves, which is a great thing. I don't think guitarists realize how sticky those things get sometimes. When you're bending your strings, you feel a little bit of resistance. Yeah, that's the gunk on your frets. So I'm just gonna give mine a nice little wipey wipe. You know, make sure you get your tuning pegs. Get all that grease from your fingers off. You know, it's just these little details that really make it pop. You know, as much as we're just being kind of quick and cursory job. So we're gonna get inside this truss rod hole. Setups. I won't be doing much of that today. This guitar is already set up for 10s, so it should just be a quick kind of one-for-one replacement. But if you would like a video about that, let me know. So we got it cleaned up pretty nice. Our next step here, and this is kind of extra, but like I was talking about, keeping your frets clean. We got this little polishing rag. It's kind of like a leathery sandpaper deal, but what this is meant to do is go over little frets, take off any of those little rough imperfections, kind of polish them up a little bit. So I'm just going to give that a quick little going over every fret. There we go. We're going to take our rag again, get off some of this loose schmuck. Onto our next step, and this is just something you might not think about. Make sure you check your tuners. Make sure nothing's loose here. Check the tuning heads. If any of this stuff is loose, you just take a socket or a little wrench, tighten this little nut right here. All right, so everything's now clean. Let's get to the good part, the strings. Ooh, but one more thing before we do, and my bonus trick. Maybe you've heard this one before. I can't remember who I learned this from, but you take a mechanical pencil, any sort of pencil, just make sure it's graphite. I don't even know if they make lead pencils anymore. I would doubt it. But you take your pencil, you get out a little bit of that graphite, and you go inside the slots of your nut here. And just get a little of that graphite in there. Graphite's really slippery, so it works as a lubricant for your nut. Okay, so now we can get going to our strings. So like a savage, I'm just going to rip into this. So here are my thickest strings, my E and A string. We'll start there. Okay, 1 na 2 wraps and you're done. So they're color-coded. They're color-coded. So you know what string is what. On the package it tells you what color corresponds to what string, so you can make sure you're doing the right thing. So in our case, gold is going to be our high E string, or low E string, pardon. So our low E string, so that's going to be the barrel closest to us. I've made the mistake where I've put in the wrong side just because, you know, everything's all flipped around and your brain's all wonky. Okay, so we just thread the string right through the body there. set her down nice and easy. All right, we're gonna pull up on the string here, make sure it's all the way up. So let's get the string through first. So I'm gonna line my hole up so it's just going straight, make it easy. So let's try that again. We're gonna pull the string through. We're gonna pull it up to the next tuning peg. This is a very thick string, so I'm only gonna go up that far. And then I'm gonna pull that back, and then I'm gonna bend it up towards the peg. All right? So this is where you grab your fancy dandy winder, put that on the tuning peg, and then with your other hand, you want to keep tension here. So I take my index finger, put it above the nut, kind of on the headstock a little bit, and then I just start winding. So now I'm going counterclockwise. So here's what I'm looking out for. When the string winds through, I want this top part to go over the top. I'm still holding tension with my index finger, just winding, holding the string in place, and now I'm applying pressure as the string is pulling for tension to keep the part of the string I'm holding with my index finger on the bottom. There we go. The string is now doing a very nice wind around the tuning peg, looking very legit, very professional. So I'm not going to tune it up all the way to pitch right now, but I am going to snip off this excess string. Okay, so we're going to get in there with our cutters. Easy peas. Okay, and then rinse, wash, repeat. So we're going to move on to the A string. Here we go. Same thing. We went up one tuning peg distance before. So now I'm going to go back 1 1/4. All right, bring it back, bend up towards the peg. We hold the string inside the slot, and then we put the index finger down on the headstock. Handy dandy winder. Here we go, counterclockwise, making sure that the top of the string wraps around the top. So you'll hear the guitar kind of creak and squeak and do this kind of stuff. That's just coming up to tension. It's nothing to worry about. Okay, so we got our A string on. Same thing. Gonna cut the excess. Moving on. So now, where's our other? Here we go. So now we have our D string and our G string. Everyone's favorite and most feared string to restring, the high E. But if you followed all the steps, made sure there's slippery things here, slippery things there, point of contacts are good. You don't go too fast. But just that sound, understandably, gives you a little bit of anxiety. But you know, that's good for there, tension-wise. Give it a little clippity-clompity. We will just tune with our headstock tuner. How can I do this in a way where I can see this? All right, just anywhere on the headstock will do. It's a vibration tuner. Okay, we're at D, so we're coming up to E. Okay, so I'm at E now, but I'm gonna go a little bit past it, F, come back down below E, and then I'm gonna tune up to E. Okay, so it's now tuned to E, but I'm not gonna get too precious about it because it's gonna slip. These strings are gonna stretch out, it's gonna slip. So have patience with that. Oh, we are at bang on A right there. Without fail, this guitar is certainly not going to be in tune. The low E, A, D are probably way out of tune now. The strings are starting to stretch out. Oh, it's actually not too bad. But I'm going to go back through them one by one. Obviously, they're all going to be flat because the strings are stretching out. which takes away tension. So we need to tighten the string to get it back up to pitch. And you should always tune up to your notes. I mean, think about it. Anytime you hear like someone talk about tuning, you say you tune up. Hey everybody, let's tune up. There's a reason that that's the verbiage. So, all right, so now we are all tuned up here. Guitar is looking good. Guitar is tuned. Sounding good. Clean up our desk now, get everything looking back to normal, and let's go back to the other cam where we'll do a little playing examples and you can hear how the crisp new strings sound. Thank you for checking out the video today. If you did find it entertaining or educational, please feel free to hit like down below. Consider subscribing if you made it here to the end and you're hearing me blab on right now. Greatly appreciate you. You're a real one. Please comment down below about any of the things I said throughout this video. If there's anything you want from me in the future, an intonation setup video, please let me know. I'm open to all sorts of ideas. But once again, thank you for checking me out, and we'll see you next time.